The question is um, kind of the question is, do I feel like I should censor myself when I'm talking about certain subjects that might be touchy for certain people? No, I'm not going to censor myself, especially for the so-called, well, I guess I'm censoring myself. I was going to say politically correct people. Uh, Universities are supposed to teach critical thinking. High schools are supposed to teach critical thinking. What we have here, and I'm living in Canada, is a population who they go on LinkedIn and they say all their politically correct things that they think other people who might happen to come across them, things that are going to make them, say, you're okay, you're okay. You got the political correctness down. And in the United States, these would be called the left-leaning libtards. And it's really not libtard at all. It's not liberal. This whole thing is it's a sign that we have got huge problems in another area. And we all know the education system teaches you what you're supposed to be taught according to the government to make you a good drone, a good sheeple. And there are plenty of sheeple out there. These are the same libtard people that have no problem spending and spending and spending money that the government doesn't have. Endless debt because we need to build this, that, the next thing at overinflated prices. And I'm still going to speak out, even if I offend some of these people. I mean, God knows I have got issues with right-wing people. I do. I often feel like I'm a one-man band, and I guess I am. But I really have no idea how we're ever going to get moving forward as a society when we're still pandering to these untruthful people. Untruthful people. It's delicate, but that's the word it came out. It can just come out and say they're bloody liars. They're bloody liars for their agenda, which is always about getting me a gravy train position where I'm getting paid a big fat salary and I do nothing. Because I'm a libtard, and there's libtard money from various governments and subnational governments, and every other kind of off-book kind of corporation that's owned by a government entity, or a government-owned non-profit, government-owned this, that. I mean, there's so many of these stupid things that are not responsible to the taxpayers of whatever country they belong to, because there's no one elected. It's all appointed. And they set their own budgets and their own salaries, and you wonder why taxes are so high. And you can't do anything to clean up this mess. You cannot do anything, but when they come and they want your tax money, are you going to go to jail, or are you going to give them the tax money? You can't fight them as much as you want to, because the system is set up so that a little person cannot have a chance. This is not democracy. It's not responsible government. And there's plenty of people who like it this way because they can figure out a way to get on the gravy train. And then there's plenty of people who are just bloody stupid. There's people who are of voting age who their credit scores are so horrible they can't get a credit card. Horrible credit. I don't know. They're just whatever they do, they immediately rack up debt because they don't understand, because they're not taught at school anything about money. To this day, they come out of high school and they don't know the first thing about the way the money system works on planet Earth. Not a clue. So the young ones are often the ones that I see who, if they work at all, are making, minimum wage. And they're the ones that are crying for, let's spend 50 million bucks on something we don't need. And let's do it again, and let's do it again. And these people have got the vote. So the whole voting system in our democracy, it's stupid. And yes, I remember when I was 18 and I couldn't wait to go and exercise my vote. But you're very naive at that age. You only know what you're taught in school about civics, what's going on in your country and the way it's governed. And you're taught by teachers who really don't play the game the same as everybody else. The teachers have enormous unions where I am in Canada. They're very, 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 very well paid. And they're not in touch with reality. Now, teachers will always say that, you wouldn't do the job, the students are horrible. I've heard this story over and over, and it doesn't fly. It doesn't hold water with me. Teachers are on the gravy train. And so they can't balance their own checkbooks. Teachers are horrible when it comes to money. In any event, I'm meandering along here, trying to explain why I feel like the system doesn't work for the small people. The power of my vote versus the power of an 18-year-old wet behind the ears person who is totally irresponsible. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make sense. And this is why we have criminals in charge of governments, corrupt people in charge, a bunch of very incompetent people in positions where they're totally out of their element. It is an eternal shit show. And it's by design, because the big corporations don't care how stupid it is. These people, they can always manage to grab the ear of the president or the prime minister and get what they want done. But the people are always fucked. It doesn't matter what party it is, the people are always fucked over. And that's the way the system is, so the system's got to change.